Hi everyone, welcome to Demystifying Compliance. I am Luke.
And I am Andy.
And today we're going to talk about Contractor Roulette.
Ooh.
Now this is a really interesting one for me because it's fairly alien to me how schools manage their contractors versus how I would have traditionally run my FM business, running contractors, where every last registration is scrutinised, every insurance policy, every health and safety policy, etc., permits to work, etc. All that kind of stuff was all heavily scrutinised. It was part of the job of facilities management. Stepping into the school space, one of the early schools that signed up to IAM, or a Matt signed up to IAM, and then they were taking on other schools. I was helping them get set up on IAM, and I found we were looking at a school that they were taking on. They had a history of 7 years with one particular contractor that was built up familiarity, and he flagged every year that school did not have a gas shutoff valve. But because of the familiarity that they had with that particular contractor, and the fact that he was flagging this stuff, but it was such a sort of lovey-dovey relationship that never questioned the competence of the actual engineer. He was sending him his reporting with his action list, but because of the familiarity, he wasn't flagging fully that there was this problem, but the fact that there was a gas shutoff valve that was not there. It was a ticking time bomb. So that is questionable to me, and I think that there are so many schools out there that rely on the familiarity of having the same guy or the same person coming in and doing the same job over and over again, that gaps appear because what they've done is walked in, done the same job, given the same sheet over, and then because it's the guy that they've trusted, that to me is not the sort of relationship is not competence. That competence needs to be checked, annually reviewed, and actually that person should have flagged this stuff and should have been picked up on his next annual review, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah, familiarity is important. I mean, obviously.
Absolutely. The problem I think you have is when you have the same people coming in year out, they get used to things that might not be right, and all of a sudden that becomes the norm. So instead of them actually highlighting it, as in your case they did, but instead of them highlighting it, they just allow it to pass because it's just the way it is. It's difficult choosing contractors because ultimately, if people have been in the school for a long period of time, there's that, I can't get rid of them, they've been doing it for 20 years. Yeah. But I would say check up on them, check the website and just make sure that all their certificates still in date, make sure they're still members of a particular organisation. Yeah. I was behind a lorry the other day, they had a telephone number in the back of the lorry and also a fax number. So I'm thinking nobody uses it. Who's he talking to on the fax? Send me a fax. Okay, you have to go to the Natural History Museum to find a fax machine to send it. So that would raise flags for me if they weren't 100% up with modern technology, certainly. But yeah, it does cause problems. People have been around for a long time. Familiarity can work in your best interest rather than in the contractor's interest. So get them to work with you. Make sure that you can do things like I've done Brucey bonuses, for example. So I'd have a list of little jobs. So if a painter or a decorator would come in, paint the wall, I would just have something like, could you also paint that little bit of skirting that's been scuffed or whatever? Yeah. And that was a freebie. But there was just top 10 little things to do. And that works in your favour as well. And also, more importantly, if you have got a really good relationship with them, if you've got a real drama going on in the school, you call them up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They'll be in, and that's the advantage.
I'm not advocating move away from all your contractors. I'm just saying have a little bit of honest tension. Yeah. That's what you need.
Oh yeah.
There's the familiarity gap. There's a familiarity there, and there's honest personal relationships that you can have with these guys, but also realise that they are providing you a professional service. That's the critical thing. They're providing you a professional service, and for that you need to obviously that should never trump the competence level. Absolutely. Of what the service that they're providing. So I think that the other thing is that we need to obviously just address is actually what good looks like. I think it's important that when you employ a contractor, you probably need to go, when they come in, define the objective of what you want them to come in. So you're on the same page as what they are for what they're actually coming in to do. Like you said, you could get them coming in and do the Brucey bonuses. But that's the reason why, certainly in IAM, we did we wrote the how-to guides and the guides. Nobody else has those in terms of understanding what a contractor, what drives a contractor when they come in, what to look for when they're actually doing the job. But they're obviously supporting on it. And sorry, another sort of shameless plug here, but if anybody wants a control of contractors course, that's also an IAM in the IAM Academy as well. Yeah. But as long as you define the role properly, I think that's really, really important. And then obviously just set what you want that sort of the expectations to look like when it comes out the other end of them actually turning up to site to do a particular job. I think that's obviously the major important thing. Get those two things right, and obviously all the documentation right, and you must follow up on those action points that come off the back of any kind of report. The amount of times that you go into a school and you see, I don't know about you, but the amount of C2s that you see on a fixed wire test report, electrical fixed wire test report, is phenomenal. Yeah. Just because of that familiarity gap. It's like, oh, that's all right. That could, even though that's classified as urgent, yeah, it probably needs to be done. We might not do it until next year. We could do those two because we could save money, but we're not going to do those other two because it's insane, absolutely insane. Find something, find the time to sit down and really assess those action points, mark them down and get them sorted. Yeah. No matter what the familiarity is with the contractor, do your own DD after you actually finish getting the contractor in through the door. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Good for you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Great chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucas.
We'll see you again on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.